Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Session 4 p.m. Say again, 4 p.m. BST on a Wednesday afternoon. Here, I know it looks dark where you are now, but I'm sure it's quite sunny outside from South Africa. So Paul Harvey is joined me today. Paul, do you want to do an introduction and I'll just share?
Yeah, big thanks though. Thanks, Dan. It's a daylight out here, but just shows how poor my lighting is. So I'm from Slow Chatbot. We basically use chatbots with rebates, chatbots for any ranking solution to get you over the hurdle and rank and hold that ranking and make it stick.
Cool. And what have you been working on recently? Because obviously you've got the software, you've got the agency, you're an Amazon seller as well. So what else has been happening?
Yeah, so pretty much for us, what we found personally on our side is that rebates are still always effective, but not as effective as they once were. And why is that? That's what we have many data points we're tracking and checking a few things. And the data shows an interesting story.
Cool. And so let's get into that. So you've written a blog post and I'll share the link later. It's on sellerchatbots.com/rebates with Facebook ads as the main URL for those who's listening on the podcast. So let's get into it. Let's start with how you started to discover these issues that you were facing and what you were doing in order to start setting the benchmarking for this for these tests.
Yeah, so pretty much with rebates, let's actually backtrack a little bit because we all know chatbots. Everyone knows or at least heard of chatbots and the way they use chatbots with rebates to hold the ranking and so on and so forth. And that's incredibly cool. But the problem is that if you look back now at all the Facebook groups, you'll see everyone about a year ago where chatbots were the big thing, the big strategy to make you rank. Yeah. Whereas now if you go to the Facebook groups, no one's talking about it because no one really has some good results. And secondly, the first reason that the first sign that a strategy is being abused, go into any Facebook group and just mention the words, my chatbot is failing, I need chatbot help, whatever. And then you get a million messages saying, hello, dear, I'm a chatbot expert, my clients use it. So so when everyone's an expert.
We get a lot of hello, dears. Like we post them in the memes group. Have you seen them? I posted one the other day, the poster of the deer hunter, because a lot of these guys or girls, they're from, where is it? New York, Florida. So that's the running joke. Anyone who listens to the show and not a member, go to Amazon FBA memes. We have a group there. Marie is killing it at the moment with her memes. It's pretty active. It's about 2,500 sellers or so in there. Complete piss take. It's just having fun. No, no digging individual people or anything like that. It's just having fun. The life and the woes of selling on Amazon. Ben Leonard's just said hello dear, so he gets what it is. So hello dear is the in joke. I know that a lot of our suppliers will call us dears, but anyway, let's get back into the situation here. So what you done, you invested 25 grand on Facebook ads, and that was 25 grand across 100 products, or was there a different budget?
So it's 25K spent over the past 6 months, roughly, give or take. Yeah. And I want to give you more data, but I know if I delve deep into data, it's a slippery hole. I'll fall through and I'll be there for weeks. So pretty much what happened is that because we do so many launches and so many rebates, we know what works and what's effective. Yeah. But what we noticed is that rebates aren't as effective as they once were. I mean, back in the day, I'm sure you remember when people used to use rebate clubs or launch services. They used to be a lot more effective, whereas now it's kind of like the norm. Amazon are used to seeing these types of signals, this buyer behavior, and it's not as effective as it once was. And I want to see why. That was the main thing, because we spent a lot of money on Facebook ads. And all those products went through essentially one chatbot flow. So we've optimized the chatbot flow to know fully it's not the chatbot flow that's making it fail. It's other reasons. So what we did is this: basically, we have long-standing Facebook ads, and we compared, a year ago compared to now. Actually, in my blog article, we did 6 months ago. Yeah. And 6 months ago, when you ran a Facebook ad to a chatbot flow for a rebate, it would cost you maybe a few cents a message, really dirt cheap customers. Whereas now it costs anywhere from, at least I'm seeing $1. And bear in mind, I have lots of limitations in place. So I still get 2 or 3 cent clicks, but at the end of it, the people that go through end up costing me $1 each.
Yeah.
And so that's a big factor, because now we screen all our customers beforehand to make sure they can be trusted, because the amount of scammers out there with rebates, it's a thing. I mean, there are courses teaching how to do it, how to get free products.
Yeah. So let's just back up a bit. For those who are not really into running chatbots or Facebook ads, give me a little like a top line on what you're doing in terms of you set it up, how you targeting and stuff, just the basics, because I know it's too much to go into the show. And then we can start getting into the data. Then we can go understand why. And then we can look at the footprint of the buyer and the Facebook profile and go more in depth on that.
So let's look at the chatbot, our sequence in the ad. Basically, if you're the customer, you're browsing Facebook and you see an ad on your newsfeed advertising a product for big discounts or a rebate, whichever verbiage you use. They click on the ad, and then a chatbot or a messenger opens up with a chatbot flow sequence, and a sequence where it walks them through the buying process. We walk them through search, find, buy, to use the keywords, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it. And then maybe someone will step in manually and reply to people, depending on how they're setting up their strategies and campaigns.
Cool. And what about URLs and stuff? Anything specific you're doing there?
No. So with us, we want to make sure everything comes across as fully organic, and we don't use any super URLs, anything like that, because we want Amazon to see that this is organic traffic. No customers have super URLs at the hand ready.
Yeah. All right. And then, so let's talk about the destination. So coming from Facebook, there's a few parts to break down, right? So coming from Facebook, obviously that's the key destination. So all the traffic's coming from there. Let's break that part down, and then we can look at the other parameters around it with the Facebook plus the buyer's account and the footprint of the buyer account.
So pretty much, so first of all, that we know the strategy is being abused. I mean, I run a software that uses the strategy, and like I was scared when I saw this, because if the strategy is being abused, it loses its effectiveness, much like any other Amazon's ranking strategy. So that's the first problem. Traffic coming from Messenger, Amazon already degrades. That's the first thing. So Amazon sees the same thing, customers coming in and buying, and now if we break it down to a granular level, those buyers, what is their buyer behavior? Are they buying everything they get their hands on, or they have normal buyer behaviors? Like if they're a mother, then they'll obviously buy products for the whole family. Whereas if they're a single mother, and Amazon knows all these things before you even know it. So Amazon knows this. So wait a minute, if this is a single mother, why is she buying hair products for babies? Why is she buying this? Why is she buying that? It doesn't make sense. So look at that customer behavior model. And secondly, how many returns and reviews does the customer do? Because a lot of these rebate scammers do tons of returns. So basically they're telling Amazon, I'm not a good buyer, so my buyer quality is far, far less.
And so what are the things that, have you got some data points that you can feed to us from that, the 25K, just break down some of the metrics?
Yeah, so pretty much is that when I first started running the ads, I still did have limitations in place. So I was paying anywhere from 50p, because it was in pounds, was my ad account in pounds. I was paying 50p for the average subscriber, and they were a good quality user. Whereas now I'm paying at least £1 per subscriber. That's good quality. And when I say good quality, they've been through our onboarding process. We've checked out their Facebook profile. Their profile looks legit. They've sent us screenshots of the orders, so we know they're not returning stuff. So back and forth quite a bit, but it's a lot more expensive now than what it was. I mean, we're seeing anywhere from 5x to 10x the prices, depending on the product.
Yeah. Let's go through some of the comments on the post. It says one customer said to make it 100% off or leave a 1-star review. So it says, and here is the worst part, your keyword ranking plummets and you end up with a dozen hijackers as well. So break down some of these. Let's move back to, have you got the blog post up with you there as well? Yeah. So let's just go through this. Let's move back to present day, September 2020, and go through that. So you and your team are having a meeting via Zoom, thanks to COVID. Your assistant asks a question, hey, Hammy, same strategy as last year. Seriously, anyone forget the hamstring injury? You agree to set up some rebate chat flows for your current product. As soon as the ad starts, you'll notice a few things. Why do the rebate customers have really odd names? So break that out for me as well. What are you doing to mitigate some of that?
So what we do first thing is this, is that I don't want to play the race card, it's a thing, but basically we have the ethnic groups breakdown, the demographics in the US. So if everyone through our chatbot flow comes across as Eastern European or Eastern Asian or whichever, then we know that that's not really according to the right demographic. So we flag their name and then we go into their Facebook profile. If they say they live in New York or Florida, that's a common
no,
thing.
it's New York, Florida.
New York, Florida. There we go. New York, Florida.
Yeah.
Get it right. So we look for all those things. We look at their buying process, and also what we do as well, we're tracking how many of our ads have they clicked on. Because if they're clicking on all the ads, then they know that they're hunting our deals, and we exclude everyone that's already spoken to. We exclude everyone that's already spoken to the page, but they're still talking to the page through our ads, which means it's being shared, or Facebook targeting is not what it says it is.
Yeah. Okay. And let's have a look here. So you've already said the customers are offended by the 80% off. What other some of the other things that you've noticed what people are saying more on the scammy end?
So pretty much first and foremost is that customers now feel entitled, even though they're getting this for free, they won't even chip in 10% or 20% of the product price because they know that they can argue with you, they can get it for free. So that's the first thing. And secondly, what screams a rebate customer, what if they mention the words rebate, PayPal, gift card? They mention any of those keywords before you've even mentioned it. So maybe in your ad, you don't mention the words rebate or review or anything, yet in the chatbot flow, they mention, does this count as a rebate? Will you give a gift card? All these things. If they're doing that, then it means they are a typical rebate customer. And Amazon knows that. And Amazon knows they are used similarly to launch and rank products all the time. So the buyer quality is not that good.
Yeah. And retrospectively, once they've bought and left the reviews, what are you doing? Do you looking for signs? You're looking at these accounts where there's the velocity of reviews, disparate products and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. So first and foremost, we don't look for reviews because as soon as we do reviews with rebates against TOS, we do leave it up to our clients to chase them down.
No, I know that, but do you not then revert back and then have a look? Because then next time round, if you can identify them as potential buyers that you would filter to the not so good list.
Yeah, so pretty much as everyone that comes through our list, we have our own black list that's added to, or a gray list, depending on the list or whatever. But basically, we make sure those customers are as good as possible. And again, if they go through the flow again, we have tags and limits in place to block them from getting any new things. However, the problem is, what if they have multiple Facebook accounts? What if they have multiple PayPal accounts? Now, the new thing is they use Amazon lockers. What's it called? Those Amazon lockers. They give their address. So Amazon drops off the parcel in there, and then they never pick it up because they don't live in the US. And then it gets returned. So then they get the money back, and they've double dipped because they got the money back from the rebate and the money back through the service. Yeah, they cost the money.
And so what percentage is this now? And are you seeing an increase in this? So the more and more that you're doing for your clients, you're facing more and more problems, but what kind of percentage, what kind of growth have you seen on the problem side?
The problems are definitely increasing. So much so is that we used to have blank Facebook ads just targeting new customers, and now we can't because all of those new customers can't be trusted. And the majority of those customers don't have American sounding names or the right profiles. It's a problem. And I would say right now, we're reaching out. We have a Facebook ad running for new customers, yet 80% of the people that click on that ad are people that have already taken a rebate from us. They should be excluded. They're not.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is because Facebook wants to doing their thing. They're optimizing all the ads. They know that these customers like these types of ads, so it's pushed to them first. So it's really tough because Facebook's trying to optimize. It's doing its job, but then it's not giving us the customers we want.
Cool. Do you want to go through? If you scroll down, have you got the URL open?
1 second, I'll open it now. I had it.
Let's go through some of it because of the benefit for people that are also listening. I can actually share my screen. Stay there.
Would you mind?
Yeah, then you can talk through the data, and then the guys listening back on the podcast actually get more of a view on the breakdown. 1 sec. Here you go. Okay. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. All good.
Nice. Yeah, it's the biggest I can get it. So talk through this data here and some of the things that you're seeing.
Okay, so do me a favor, just scroll down a tad so we get the full screenshot.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Is that good?
Yeah, perfect. So now if we look at that, right, if we look at the first 3 months, January, February, and January and February. Now these are actually 3 products, all the same niche. 2 of the campaigns were identical. So we had some that was new campaigns and identical campaigns, so it should be the same. But now if you fast forward now to July, from July onwards, you can see the cost per result, which effectively is my cost per acquisition. Definitely has increased. You can see there it's gone up about 100%, 200%, even more, 500%. That is the going rate. And also with those ads, that's me split testing different things. So when we run these ads, we're already running ads that we know convert incredibly well, but we still can't get cheaper than this. That's the problem.
Gotcha. I'm going to go to the questions now. Let's have a look what we've got here. So Steve Kong says, Paul, why chatbot Facebook ads so much more per click than a direct online Facebook ad?
Good question. So the first answer is this, right? Is that messenger clicks used to be cheaper. They used to be a lot cheaper than website clicks. However, now everyone's doing messenger, so it's growing with the rush. It's growing with the trend. One of those things, much like PPC has grown, so has this. Now, bear one thing in mind is that let's say you get 100 website clicks on your Facebook ad. Now, of those 100, maybe only 10 will actually look on your landing page, look at your landing page, say that's great, and then take action. So you're only getting a 10% real buy activity. Now with Messenger, although the cost per acquisition is higher, you can kind of nurture them and walk them through the whole process much easier. So although clicks are cheaper, you're not really saving much, because when you compare the two, and we've done case studies on that. When you compare the two, you're not saving much if you go just for website clicks.
Yeah. Elliot says, are Facebook ads better than Google ads for Amazon? I think that depends on the product, price points, and everything else, doesn't it? So that's probably not a direct, there's many answers to that same question there. Facebook user question, are you guys experience ad account shutdowns, reinstatement shutdowns, wash, rinse, repeat, even running white hat? I think I know who that sounds like. Our friend GED. Yeah,
that's him in a heartbeat. He even changes his name to Facebook user. But anyway, what I love about that is, yes, we've had our ad account shut down, but not for doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
well, kind of wrong. But all our ads are 100% TOS. What we did was we did advertise one ad for PPE product, which is not allowed on Facebook. And we still did around 800 rebates through Facebook ads using that. The way around it, and I recommend everyone to try this, is that you can't use images. You must use a video of the product, no mention of the product, of what it is, because it's banned. Have a video of the product, and actually on the thumbnail of the video, make it a blank thumbnail, because Facebook can't scan videos. So you can use that to get around the whole Facebook shutting down your account if you're using products that are banned on their list.
Cool. Right, so we're in Q4, but people's stock is landing as we speak, and we're getting into the business end. Any suggestions for people now? What fluctuations are you seeing? You mentioned earlier off call that there seems to be like a pre-peak Q4 shuffle. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this enough to say it's a thing, but I have seen a number of sellers from well-established products, 3-4 years, that don't really ever fluctuate in the keyword rankings. They've been on page 1, top of page 1 for years now, and now they're on top of page 2, and they've not done a thing. PPC is the same. Not doing any more rebates. If they were, there's no signal to say what happened. And what we're seeing is that the people that are affected have definitely been affected. It's not the widespread amount that always is in Q4. It's a small amount, but still they're being affected. Their sessions are, the keyword ranking is, and for them, they're facing a tough time.
Cool. And before we wrap up for the day, what are your predictions for 2021? Where can you see it all going in terms of ranking?
It's going to be big. I hope next year Facebook will clean up the act and properly amalgamate WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger. They say they do it now, but they really haven't. There's so many limitations in place. So many like just don't want to actually do it. That doesn't work. And secondly, if they pull that off, then they open up Facebook shops to work effectively. You can sell, the winner then is the person who has the biggest list, the biggest messenger list, because Facebook shops are open and Facebook will make it easy for you to sell your stuff, your wares through there.
Cool. Excellent. Well, I think we've pretty much covered most of it now. You've got some other data coming soon. Maybe we'll cover that in the future once you've managed to gather enough for analysis. What's the best way that people can reach you?
Best thing to do is reach out to me privately on Facebook, or just go into our website, /chatbot, and leave us a message there, and we'll get back to you.
Sounds good. Guys, thanks for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, sellerpoll.com, go and vote. Brought to you by Frasio. Closing date is the 28th of October. I'll be back here tomorrow. We're going to be doing an in-depth profile with Chris Davey. He's based over in China. Some of you guys, or a lot of you guys, would have met him if you've been over to China. He's the one who puts on all the events between what's it called? It's when they break down between Canton Fair. So he does the drinks. So yeah, obviously we've missed out this year. We couldn't do one in April, and I don't think it's not going to happen now. So I'll be back next year. But he'll be telling us a bit more about what's going on with him and his products and what he's doing. He's a former expat. He spent, I don't know, last 10, 15 years, I think, over in China. He used to be a buyer. Really good guy. So he'll be back here tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Take care of your family, and I'll see you again soon.